Da 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 dee. Da dee da dee da 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 da. Da 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 dee da ya da da. Lee da dee da 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 do. La dee da 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 dee dee. Dee da da. Da 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 dee da la da ya do dim. La dee da 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 dee 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 da dee dee dee. La da 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 dee da dee da dee dee. When I come off the boat, the customs man was nice to me. So I was nice back to him. But a friend who come to meet me said, boy, you shouldn't be nice to them. They don't like we. So I said, no, man, that ain't true at all. When people nice to you, you must be nice back to them. And if you want people to be nice to you, you got to be nice to them. Then he tell me that I foolish and I go find out. But I was nice to him. So the next day, he came me to this place, the exchange they call it. And the man there was nice to me too, so I was nice back to him. So when they give me this job, sweeping out the office, I say thank you to the man, and the man say thank you back to me. But my friend say I shouldn't say thank you to him. So I say the man say thank you to me, so I say thank you back to him, and I tell him, if you want people to say thank you to you, you gotta say thank you to them. Then he tell me that I'm wrong. So I said, no man, I ain't wrong, I'm right. Then he tell me I is an idiot. But I say thank you to him. So the next night, he carried me to this nightclub where they had some girls dancing with colored men. The first time I ever see white woman dancing with colored man. And they ain't dancing straight and back, you know. They're dancing with the bottom all over the place. So I said, well, boy, this is the place for me. So I went up to a girl, and I asked she nice for a dance. And she said yes, and we had a nice dance. But my friend come and he pulled me one side saying, boy, how I go teach you to live in this country if you don't listen to me? You mustn't be nice to them. They don't want you to be nice to them. So I said, nah, man, that ain't true. Because I was nice to the girl, and she was nice back to me. So then he tell me again how I foolish and I go find out. So I miss a dance trying to find out. But I ain't find out nothing. So I went back to the girl, and I asked her to dance again, and she said yes. But I noticed my friend wasn't dancing at all, so I said, well, his foot must be hurting you or something. Anyway, when time come for the club to close, my friend come pulling me saying, let me go, let me go. I said, no, man. I go up to the lady and ask if I could come home with she and hear what she said. He said, they don't want me in the house, much less in the bed. And if I go with she in the morning, she will cry out how I hypnotize she and rape she. I said, no, man, that ain't true. And because I know, when a woman hit you up, she hit you up for a reason. And the reason is she wants you to burn she. So he tell me I is an idiot. Anyway, I go up to the lady and I asked if I could come home with she. And she said, yes. So I left my friend outside the club and I went home with she. And well, we had a good time. And in the morning, she didn't cry out or bawl rape. All she says is that she have to go to work. And if I just go to the club often, I go see she again. So I say, yes, I'll go see you again. Well, when I get outside, I didn't even know where I was. So I went up to a policeman and I asked him nice. And he tell me how to catch a bus back to my friend's place. Boy, when I go and I tell my friend what happened, the man went mad and started to cuss me all kind of name and said things like I mustn't ask a policeman nothing. If you ask a policeman something and they find out that you knew in this country, they go lock you up for something. So I said, no, man, that ain't true because I know. If you want to find out anything, it's a policeman you have to ask. Then he tell me how I foolish and I go find out. So I said, well, how I go find out? He just said, you go find out. Anyway, he carried me to the pub with him. Well, when we get there, I said, let me buy the drink. He said, no, you mustn't buy drink for people. If you buy drink for people, they go think you're stupid and drink out all your money. So I said, nah, man, that ain't true. Anyway, there was a white man standing up at the bar next to me. So I buy him a drink, and he buy me back a drink. So I said, well, if he buy me a drink, I got to buy him back a drink. And so it go. Until my friend come up to me and say, you see what I tell you? The man go drink out all your money. I said, no man, that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, he said he going next door to the betting shop, and when I'm ready to go home, I must come for him. Well, when time come for the pub to close, the white man, I think his name was Fred, he said he going and put on a bet that he gets some tip from some horse's mouth. And if I have any money, I must put my money on it. So I put on the bet. But I noticed my friend wasn't looking too happy. So I said, well, wrong man. He said he lose all his money. So I said, well, boy, the white man give me a tip and tell me to put my money on it. He said, no white man, he go give colored man horse to back because no white man didn't want to see colored man win money. So I said, well, he put his money on it. He said, that's just a trick to fool me. I said, well, he fooled himself because he put on more money than me. Anyway, the horse come 20-1, so I ain't do too bad at all. Well, I gave my friend a 10-pound note, and we went home. Well, when we get there, who should be standing up on the step outside the house? But the girl, the same girl I went down and meet at the club. I must give she my address or something. So she says she come to find out if I'm going to the club tonight. So I said, well, if you going to the club, why you don't stay here? And when time ready to go, we can go together. So she come inside. But my friend say if she come inside, people go say how she working for me. So I said, well, how they could say that? I only meet she last night. He said, I go find out. Then he said, he go in and watch a film. Well, now that surprised me because I know he no theater man. Well, I figure he must be feeling lonely. Well, the girl take off her shoes. And she started to clean out the place. So then she said, what we have to eat? So I said, nothing. So she said, well, don't worry. I go around the corner and get something. Boy, when she come back, the girl cook one food. Me and no white woman can cook so sweet. And when we finish eat, she take off all she clothes. And she said, she want me to give she the same like what I give she last night. Well, when time come to go to the club, she says she's feeling tired. So I said, well, if you're tired, why you don't stay here? So she said, that is all right by she. So that is how we stay. I didn't even know what time my friend come in. When he come in, I didn't even hear him. All I feel is he trying to pull the girl in the half of the bed. But she must have been too heavy because he gave up quick. Anyway, the next night when I come home from work, and I tell my friend how nice the foreman was, the man went mad again, just like with the policeman. So to change the subject, I asked him if the girl get out all right. He said, yes, she get out all right. But I mustn't say the foreman nice, because they ain't nice, and their job is to make colored people work hard. I said, but they work hard too. He said, it's a different kind of work. And the girl left a message to say, well, how I must meet you at the club tonight. But boy, I was feeling so tired. I said, I ain't going to no club tonight. He said, you see what I tell you? It's because the foreman working you hard, that's why you're tired. But I know I was tired from something else. Anyway, round midnight, the doorbell started to ring. And who could it be but the girl, the same girl that come and cook me the meal. She said she didn't see me at the club. And she come to find out if I'm all right. I said, yes, I'm all right. So I asked if she'd like to come in and stay. But she said she didn't want to stay. And my friend said he don't want she to stay. So I figured I must see had a row or something. So I put on my clothes. And I went round by she. Well, the next night when I come home from work, I said to my friend how he was going to feel if I was to move out. Well, boy, the man went mad again and started to cuss me and tell me all kind of things like how he look after me when I first come to this country and how is my family ask him to look after me and how I intend to go and left him in a lurch. So then he said if I was moving in with the girl. So I said, well, I wasn't sure yet, but I was thinking about it. Well, then the man started to abuse me and call me all kind of names. So I said, well, the best thing to do is to pack up my clothes and move out by tonight. But you see, deep down inside, I know he wasn't a bad guy because he didn't charge me no rent for the 4 days I was staying with him. So I moved in with the girl. Well, when we first start, it was all right. But then she started to tell me all kind of things like, I mustn't wear socks in bed. I tell she a cold. And I mustn't wear pajamas under my clothes. Again, I tell she a cold, but like she in here. And I mustn't be nice to the woman next door. So I said, no, man, nothing ain't gonna happen. And I mustn't do this, and I mustn't do this. And how I know nothing but this country and the woman next door go feel I want something off of she because I so nice to she. And then she come just like my friend. She started to call me all kind of thing like an idiot and a Burke. I was going to tell she my name wasn't Burke, but I was feeling too tired. Anyway, one day when I come home from work, as soon as I get to the top of the stairs, who should come out of she room but the woman from next door? So I give she a howdy like I does always do every time I see she. Only this time she say if I have a shilling for the meter. So I tell she I ain't have one on me, but I have one inside on the mantelpiece. So she said, well, go in for it. So I say, all right, and I open the door. Boy, as soon as she come in, she start to tell me all kind of thing like how I so nice and how she like me because I nice. And the next thing I know is me and the woman on the bed having a nice time. The next thing that happened, the door bust open. And who should come in but the girl, the same girl I'm living with? Well, partner, I never jumped so fast in my life. But it's not me she go for. It's the woman from next door. I don't know white woman can cuss so bad, boy. The girl called the woman a whore. And the woman called the girl a slut and say how she wouldn't push me with a barge pole and how is I pull she in the room and give she aspirin and take advantage of she headache. Well, right there and then I decide to go. So I packed my bag. But as soon as I hit the door, the girl turned around and she see me and she said, where you going? So I said, well, I'm going and stay by my friend. Well, then she break down and start to cry and say how she love me and if I go, she go kill herself. Well, that slow me down. But it's when she say she could do anything for me, well, then I rail and truly stop. Well, by this time, the woman from next door gone. After I tell she, thank you for coming in, and she said, thank you for the shilling. And then the girl say how she gonna make sure I have to go to work because she know I don't like to work in the cold. Well, she was right there. And then she go earn enough money to support both of we. Well, what else I could say to that except thank you very much and, well, it's all right by me. So she said, well, it's all right by she, as long as I don't leave. Well, things start to go good. The girl worked so hard, I hardly see she. She would go out to work, and when she come back, she sleep. But I didn't mind all that much, because whenever she come back, she used to bring one set of £5 note. I never see so much of money in my life. I used to go out and spend and spend and spend, and still the money wouldn't done. So, after a time, I start to save it. But I didn't mind not seeing she all that much, because the woman from next door used to come in and bring my food, and me and she used to have a good time. So, who could complain? The next thing I know is she too says she want to work for me, how she have more contacts than the girl and how she could do better. So why could say to that except things like, well, give it a try and see if you like it. But is one thing was bothering me. You see, with both of them out to work, I was going to starve, so why go do? No sooner I say that, but a knock on the door. And who could it be but the landlady come to collect she rent? So I said, well, hold on a minute. And I opened the door. Well, when she come in, it looked as if she wanted to look around. So I said, well, that is all right by me. I mean, after all, it's she room. So she started to tell me all kind of things about your husband and how he does treat she bad. So I said, well, some men like that. And then she says she feels she can talk to me because I look like a man who understands. So we sit down there talking all morning. And then she says it's lunchtime. And she got to go and cook some food. And she said she's sorry she had to take up so much of my time. So I said, but that is all right. But she said she's going to make up for it and bring me up some food. So I said, well, if that is what you want to do, do nothing else. So, she bring up the food. And I must say that she cooking wasn't all that hot. But I tell she it tastes nice. And she seemed to like that because the next thing I know is she gave me a hug and a kiss. So I said, well, if you give me a hug and a kiss, I want to give you a hug and a kiss. And she said she would like that because no man in hug she nor kiss she for a long time. Not that no man don't want to do it, but she don't want any kind of man to do it. The kind of man she want to do it must be a nice man and a kind man and a man who understands she. So I tell she was right to want that. And me and she had a good time. Every day, she used to cook my food and bring it up. And we would have a good time. Until she husband come home from work, and then she would go downstairs, and I wouldn't see she no more. But I would know she was there, because sometimes she would start singing things like, I love you, baby, and I need you, baby. And sometimes she would collect the rent in the morning and push it back under the door in the evening, so I know she was there. And you know, it's a funny thing. Me and she husband was talking one day, and he said how he would like to go to the West Indies because the people seem so happy and nice. So I tell him, if they seem so happy and nice over here, he should go down there and see how happy and nice they really is. And me and he become the best of friends. But it's a funny thing, he never take me to the pub with him. But every time he come back, he used to bring me a Guinness. You could beat that, like the sunrise. But I never understand what he mean when he say, don't kill yourself. I mean, Guinness can't kill. Anyway, one day I'm gonna buy one of them Jaguar car. And who should be crossing the road right in front of my bonnet but my friend? The same friend what come and meet me off of the boat. So I said, what happening, man? He said, you're right, that he's still playing the horses on them. Then he said, look as if I'm doing good. So I said, well, boy, I still paying rent and that ain't so good. So I tell him, like he playing the wrong horses. I thought I'd give him a joke to cheer him up, but he ain't get no happier. So I said, well, let me go in the pub and have a drink for old times. Well, it's then he get a bit brighter. Well, when we get in the pub, the man start to tell me all he worries, but how he had a woman, and she take all the clothes and sell them, and he have no way to live. So I said, well, if you don't have no way to live, come and stay by me until things get for the better. Well, then he brightened up a bit, because he started to pull me out the pub. The first time I see him finish a whole beer. But it hit me that my girl didn't like him, and she wouldn't have been happy for him to be living with us, so what I do? But I know the landlady had a room going spare. So when we get there, I called she one side, and I explained the position to she, so he was all right. But you know, I tell you some man, when they let you down, you know. No sooner the man get in the house, that he want to know where all the meters is and what kind of locks they have on them. So I said, wait now, man, you get a room, you get a food, rest yourself till things get for the better. But nah, he tell me how I ain't have no sense, and how I can't see further than me eye, and I ain't have no business brains. So I says, if me he want a thief, is he ain't got no brains because they go lock him up. So I said, well, before they do that, here is some money. When you get a job, you can pay me back. Boy, no sooner the money come out of my pocket, it was in his hand, is then I start to call the man Houdini. The next thing I know, he trying to pull the landlady in the room one night. The same landlady would have saying, I love you, baby, I need you, baby. I mean, she didn't give him no reason to pull she in the room, but you never can tell. He hears she singing, I love you, baby, I need you, baby. He must think that she's singing to him. I mean, you can't blame the guy. So I said, well, boy, here is some money. Go and find your own place. Well, then he break down and start to cry and tell me how he's the best friend he ever had and beg me to stay and say, well, he's sorry he take advantage of his position with me. So I said, well, it's all right as long as you behave yourself. So he said, well, he go do that. Well, shall I tell you something bad, you know? The man go downstairs and tell the landlady husband how me and she carrying on. Well, the landlord come up, and me and he had a good laugh about it. But he ain't satisfied with that. The man go and tell the police how I living off a prostitute. Not one prostitute, you know, but two. And how I living off of the immoral earnings. Well, but the police come round. And when the police see me, he start to laugh because he can't see how a guy like me could have not one, but two women on the road for him. So the police say he's sorry he had to trouble me, and I say I sorry he had trouble too, so the police leave. But the man ain't satisfied with that, you know. I know is where he get the air letter form them from. But he go and write my mother and the woman I was living with and tell them, wait for it. And I tell you some vicious, you know. He go and tell them how I got a lot of money and I got my own house and I doing well. Well, they write to me and they say, well, if we're doing so well, I must send for them. Well, you can't blame them. They hear their boy doing well. So I go around the corner and I buy a house. And I send for them. And they come, my mother and the woman I was living with and my 4 children, Claudine, Claudette, Clarissa, and Carl. And they move in. Well, I tell them I used to work at the other house during the day, and I used to sleep there during the night. So things start to go all right. My mother started taking some cleaning, and my woman started to do some washing and make plans to open her own laundrette. So who could complain? When I tell you life funny, it's funny, you know. I get my children into a good school, and my woman opens her own laundrette. When the next thing I hear is my friend want to see me. But he ain't round the corner, you know. He ain't a trepping the bus right away, you know. The man is in Winson Green jail, so I said, well, all right, and I'll go to see him. Well, when I get there, the first thing he said to me is, how are you doing? I said, you bring me all this way just to ask me how I doing? He said, no. He want me to pay a fine for him. So I said, well, how much? He said, 20 pounds. So I said, well, all right. It turned out that he break a meter and he didn't have the money, so they put him inside. But that is not all he want. He want me to find a room for him. So I said, well, all right. I figure, well, the prison must straighten him out. So I give him a room in the house with my mother and them. I figure my mother could watch him during the day, and I could watch him during the night. I mean, after all, if you have cocoa in the sun, you have to watch for rain. And I tell him, if I catch you anywhere near my meters, he's out, you know. So he said, well, nah, man, how you gonna do a thing like that again? After all, I so nice to him. And when people nice to you, you must be nice back to them. So I jump. Because to hear him say a thing like that, I have to believe him as a thing I just say myself. And the man get good, you know. If he want to go to the WC in the back, just not to pass my meters, the man going out through the front door and run, just not to pass my meters. That is to show how good he get. And that in all, the man go and get a job as a night watchman in a factory and come back and say how nice the foreman is. You could beat that. Well, he beat it. He even go and get my mother a job on the factory bench. That is to show how good he get. Well, boy, why could say to that except things like wonders never cease and when man go ripe, it go fall. And that in all. The man start to pay me back my money, not big pieces, but a one here and a one day. But that is all right. It show he was trying. So after a time, I stopped worrying about him. But, and when I say but, I mean but, you know. One day, the man pay me back a £5 note. Well, when I look at the note, well, I had to look. After all, he never paid me back so much of money before. When I look at the note, I see it's the same £5 note I give my wife to put in the bank for me. So it hit me. But I said, well, she must have changed some money for him or something, so I didn't worry about it. But, and I said, but again, you know, the man started to pay me back one set of £5 note. And all the £5 note is the money I give my wife to put in the bank for me. So I ask you what you would do. If all the money you give your wife to put in the bank for you, you find turning up in another man's hand. And I help the man, you know. Is a man I help, you know. What you would do? You can't think of nothing? Well, I go tell you what I was going to do. I was going to take him in the pub and buy him a Guinness and tell him, don't kill yourself. But when I go in the pub, the man behind the bar said they don't serve colored people in this pub. So I get vexed, and I pull him over the counter and I hit him a right. And he fall against the plate glass and the whole thing collapse. So that is what I'm doing in this prison. Boy, I really learned my lesson. That is the last time I go ever be nice to anybody.